Hi, my name is Ellie, I'm one half of Tough Soles, and today I'm here to give you a review on the Salomon X Ultra 360. So a few weeks ago, the guys at Great Outdoors asked if I had any interest in trying out the new Salomon shoes, and I jumped at it for a couple of different reasons. One of my all-time favourite pairs of hiking boots were Salomon's. It was back when they made the Comet, which is like a smaller version of the Quest, and they were incredible. But I've never had a pair of Salomon shoes. So they shipped these ones down to me, and in the last few weeks I've walked 100 kilometers or maybe a bit more in them. So here are my 100 kilometer impressions. As you can tell, to get up here it was a bit of a muddy journey, so the shoes are definitely looking worn, but they are not worn after 100 kilometers. I feel like this first 100k has flown by and the shoes are only getting more comfortable. Years ago when I tried on the Salomon X Ultra 2, I think, it was a much narrower fitting shoe, and so for me it really didn't work fit wise. However, I find that the X Ultra 360s have a kind of wide enough mid and toe box that they are super comfortable. And I think that's one of the key things to take away from any shoe review you watch. It's all about the fit of the shoe. So while something might fit me really well and be super comfortable, you need to make sure you find what works for you. Both Carl and I got a pair of these X Ultra 360s, and while the sizing for me worked well because I kind of knew what sizing I had been in a Salomon before, Carl's ended up feeling a little small on him. So Salomon in general definitely are a smaller fitting shoe on the shoe scale, so don't be afraid to size up, and I definitely recommend trying them on in person. One of the reasons that I wanted to test out these shoes was in the last few years I've got a lot more into trail running as well as hiking, and so my primary shoes have either been hiking boots or trail runners, and I really wanted to see where the trail shoe fit in that line. I was really surprised at the kind of extra level of stability and structure I found there to be in the trail shoe. I was kind of expecting them to be more similar, but for me there's definitely a different feel to a trail shoe over a trail runner. I find that the sole of the shoe is stiffer, the flex kind of side to side is different to a trail runner. You have a kind of different level of stability in a trail shoe. Plus these are Gore-Tex, these are waterproof. If you've been in Ireland in the last few months, you will have experienced just how wet it has been here. So having a waterproof shoe has been really nice getting out on my recent hikes. For me, I think this shoe is made for easy walking, tracks and trails, mixed terrain, nothing too technical, but still very capable of doing a lot of things. So I'm 100 kilometers into these shoes and they don't yet feel worn. The soles don't use Vibram, which is quite a popular soling brand. They use Contra-Grip, which is their own rubber system, and for me it works really well. I haven't had any slips, trips or falls in relation to the grippiness of the shoe anyway. And of course one of the most fun parts of a Salomon shoe is their lacing system. I have never had shoes with this quick lace system before, and it's really fun. I have never been so speedy at putting on my shoes. I am somebody who always unlaces and relaces every time, so having something that's a little bit faster than that is really nice. I haven't found that they've lost their grip throughout a hike. I've done a 20k hike in them and haven't needed to tighten or readjust for the whole hike. Hello. It's a few months later and I am still wearing the Salomon X Ultras. So I really like these shoes. And I really like Salomon footwear in general. I think they make really solid footwear, and I really appreciate the level of robustness and sturdiness. I have taken these shoes up mountains and across bogs and to places that these shoes are not designed for. And they have coped miraculously well. So a big shout out to the designers for making a shoe that is designed for tracks and trails but can survive being completely abused, because they really have. So I'm going to guess at this point I have over 300k done in these shoes. I don't know exactly. It's been quite a while. It could very well be more. I often wear these as just walking about shoe as opposed to necessarily exclusively hiking, because I just also like the Salomon aesthetic. So they've done a lot, and I think something I didn't really hammer home in my first take of this review after the first 100k was just how different a trail shoe and a trail runner are. In my head, as I said, I'd gone from hiking boots to then during COVID taking up running, getting into trail running and wearing a lot of trail runners and not really wearing trail shoes until I got these guys. And there is a marked difference between what they offer. And I think both are really useful depending on what suits you best and what you're looking for in a shoe. These are a lot more sturdy, and by sturdy I guess I mean kind of solid. Trail runners are designed to kind of give and move and bounce more with you. And I think, like, compared to just an ordinary everyday shoe, like there's no comparing that to like a walking shoe. These are, in my opinion, like miles ahead if you're looking to do walking. For me, I don't know what I'm more drawn to now, whether I am just going to actually stay in trail runners for my walking trails, or if I'm going to keep using trail shoes. I'm certainly going to keep using these guys. I have them and I love them, so they're going to get well worn. But if I was to go out and do the Camino tomorrow, I might actually go for a trail runner, like a Hoka Speed Goat, just for the level of cushioning that they offer. There's a lot of cushioning in them that when you're doing that everyday walking, like again and again and again, that padding, I think, really stands to your feet. But it's an impossible question. There is no one answer for everybody. If there was, we wouldn't have the variety of shoes we have on the market today. So if you're going out today to buy a pair of walking shoes, what should you be looking for? From kind of your midfoot back to your heel, it wants to feel really secure. There doesn't want to be any movement there. You don't want your heel rubbing on the back and causing blisters or any kind of pinching across the midfoot here. So snug and comfortable. However, for the front half of the shoe, for the toe box, you want that to be spacious, and you want your toes to have room to kind of breathe. Especially at the very front of the shoe, I always try and have a finger to a thumb's width of space in front, like between my toes and the end of the shoe, so that when I'm going downhill, when I'm just on my feet for a long time, my toes are never going to be banging into the front of the shoe, because that's how you get blisters, you lose toenails, and you also damage the shoe itself. The Gore-Tex lining of a shoe is typically on the inside, and if your toes are banging into the front, you're going to cut through that Gore-Tex lining and they're no longer going to be waterproof. And please do remember that the size on the shoe is a benchmark, is a guiding light. It's not exact. For me, when I'm buying shoes for the variety of outdoor pursuits that I do, I'm anywhere between a 36 and a 40 EU sizes. So that's a UK 4 to like 6.5, 7, depending on what the brand labels it as. So like that's a very wide range of sizes to be trying. So don't feel like, oh, I always wear a UK 5. My hiking boots must always also be a UK 5. Get what fits your feet the best, because you just want to be able to enjoy the activities you're doing and not be in pain. We've all been there. So we just want to enjoy the outdoors as much as we can. And on that, thank you so much to Great Outdoors for getting me these pair of shoes. And thank you so much to everybody who supports us on Patreon and makes it possible for me to keep making videos. I really, really appreciate it. And this week, I'm going to say a special thank you to Conleth Berry, Ian Breen, and Jane Fitzcostella from D-Bell Company. I really appreciate all of your support so much. And I'll see you in our next video. Okay.